if you're constantly pushing further and further, that's not therapy. That's not listening. That's not walking together. That's dragging along. Hello, my name is Rowan. I am a therapist and an author. Let's have a chat, shall we? So, what does it take to be a good therapist? Well, I practice something called existential therapy, which broadly speaking means that the goal of treatment is to build deep, long-lasting tanks of self-awareness and honesty that can be used to confront the painful givens of our own existence. It's formal, I know. It's a lot. Really what that looks like, we'll talk later on, but for now, just know that a therapist who is able to provide this kind of therapy is not one who is passive or detached. In my work with clients, we walk on journeys together, uncovering bits about ourselves in an effort to build empathy, both with others and, I think sometimes more importantly, with who we are. Broadly speaking, it means that I believe a good therapist is someone who can be authentic, vulnerable, present, and aware, even as we traverse some of the darkest thoughts and feelings of clients. Today, I plan on going through one of my favorite games of all time, CYBERPUNK 2077, and making a tier list, answering a very simple question, which is, would this character make a good therapist? Jackie Wells. Okay, so look. Jackie is an absolute sweetheart, and he is the kindest possible welcome we as a player can get to Night City. Listen, kindness can go a long way to establishing a rapport with a client. A mean therapist won't get very far. He has an ability to energize me when I listen to him, like me as a player.
Come on, let's go have some lunch.
Just like that? You put a barrel to my skull not so long ago.
You help my homies, you're okay in my book. No harm, no foul.
None at all.
Getting one of my good feelings.
About what?
About us. It's a kind of chemistry, you know?
A skill that I think could translate wonderfully to therapy. He can get people talking. That's awesome. However, that's kind of where the good things of Jackie end, unfortunately. His biggest knock is that he's incredibly focused, and not in a positive way. Jackie builds so much inertia so quickly that the idea of changing his goals, his dreams, how he sees the world, it just doesn't happen. It's one-track mind. He is going to the major leagues. He's going to be a legend in Night City. I wonder if he ever asked the question, why? Why does he want these things? Why risk your life, Jackie, especially when you have people who love and care about you, just for the chance to be remembered at a bar? I think Jackie genuinely doesn't know himself that well. He's a doer. It's wonderful. He knows what he wants, sure. But that doesn't mean he knows Jackie. Since I don't think he has any interest in doing that work, the highest I can give him is C tier. Johnny Silverhand. Okay, so, believe it or not, most therapists don't typically tell their clients to
stick some iron in your mouth and pull the trigger.
See, Johnny possesses all the drawbacks of Jackie, but has none of the positives. Where Jackie's kind, Johnny is cruel.
Love it when you're mad. Gets my southern blood pumping.
Get in, or I change my mind.
Most of the time. Where Jackie listens, Johnny ignores.
I'm sorry, did she finally say anything useful?
All of the time. Where Jackie cares about Dee's well-being, and he really does, Johnny manipulates. That's kind of his default position on things.
Come on, is it really that hard? Please, just one. For me?
Fine, have it your way. Smoke to your lungs' content.
Finally, something better than exhaust in the stench of the city. Don't tell me you don't feel it too.
Putting aside the fact that a diagnosis of narcissistic personality disorder seems inevitable for Johnny, we're not going to touch that right now, he represents the exact opposite of where an existential therapist should be. He has no interest in walking alongside folks on their own journeys. she'd rather kick you out and take the wheel instead. She does, literally. A big part of therapy and being a therapist is appreciating that you are not a problem solver. It is not your job to tell clients how to live their best life. For someone like Johnny, who utterly needs to be telling people what to do, easy F. Evelyn Parker. So Evelyn is a wonderful example of what happens when ambition exceeds one's ability to cope. So on the surface, Evelyn does a really, really good job of appearing slick, put together, authoritative. At least the first time we meet her, she very much controls that first interaction in the back of Lizzie's.
NetWatch provides net security for all corporations and collects eddies in the millions for it. But in this day and age, everyone's in the game, and no one can afford to be a saint. To win, one has to go all in.
I remember when I played it, I was like, wow, she's got her shit together. But as the story unfolds, we learn she's been trying to build a bridge while driving on it at the same time. She reaches so far and so aggressively because she sees a chance and, damn it, she wants it. Even if it's far beyond what she's capable of, both literally, physically, and mentally. On its surface, ambition is a fine trait. But in Evelyn's case, especially when we consider her potential as a therapist, it's the opposite. She has a very poor understanding of herself as a person, what she's capable of, and more importantly, the risks of her behavior. I mean, hell, she put together a whole heist when her only job was to record the inside of a hotel room. Good for her, she did it. Not the vibe you want in a therapist.
Listen, V, the relic. That's my concern. Your concern? Earning a paycheck. Just get the job done. I'll make sure your bank accounts are sated.
If you're constantly pushing further and further, that's not therapy. That's not listening. That's not walking together. That's dragging along. The ending of her story, obviously, the spoiler, is tragic, and I shed a tear for her when I figured out what happened to her. I worry about what could happen if she were a therapist to someone like her, to another Icarus, just begging to fly too close to the damn sun. D tier. Not down there with Johnny, but D. Judy Alvarez, also known as my first romance option in the game, and by far the best. So, Judy is bluntly honest from the moment we meet her.
Speaking of harm's way, know what I see looking at you? Walking, talking corpses.
Now, that's actually a fantastic trait for a therapist to possess, as long as it can be tempered with a little empathy. Call-outs in session are good. It's a safe place to do something like that. Call-outs constantly, not so good. It just teaches clients to be even more defensive, even in a place where they're not supposed to be. But the good news is that for the people Judy cares about, she is very good at opening up. Time and time again, we see Judy pour out her own care into Evelyn, sometimes even to her own detriment. For therapists, there is that risk of overcommitting that does come when we emotionally connect with clients. But I'll give Judy a pass here, given, her and Evelyn have a bit of a history. Now, in the final quest with her, she literally takes us on a journey through her past and the pain that she still carries with her. We literally dive into the flooded town of her childhood. We actually also in that moment get to hear her own trauma play out. Something she doesn't actually recoil from showing to us.
Hoping you'll be able to pick up all the unfiltered mess of emotions this place brings out in me. Like it or not, you'll react to those feelings. That's what I want to capture.
This is the heart, that quest is the heart of what it means to be an existential therapist. Someone who can traverse the darkness using their own strength of self-identity. She made it a little bit of time to warm up to people, but when she gets there, she's literally the prototype of the kind of therapist I want to be. Easy. easy S tier. Pan Am Palmer. Ooh boy. Let's see. Pan Am is prideful, stubborn, idealistic, and direct. Now, these things that describe my wife very well, and I love her for all of them, but she and I both know she's not cut out for the therapy biz. Same thing is true for Pan Am. From the moment we meet her, we kind of learn that Pan Am has friction with everyone. Like everyone. We learn eventually that this largely comes from Pan Am's burning hatred of compromise and duplicity. She is straightforward to a fault.
So you're V. Where's my car?
We can help each other. Rogue said so.
I might have guessed. All right. Tell me all you know. Fail, and you can run back and tell Rogue to right off.
Hey, come on. Calm down.
Don't tell me what to do.
She feuds constantly with Saul, the leader of the Aldecados clan, over ideological schisms. Now, while bringing one's identity into the session as a therapist is a good thing, I don't like the idea of therapists who check their personality at the door and become a blank slate. No. Bring who you are in session. That's how you build authenticity. But with Pan Am, being unable to bend or empathize with another person is devastating, especially to the point where they're active and open conflict between, say, her and Saul. Nobody wants to go to a therapist to be told they're wrong for an hour straight. D tier down with Evelyn. Rogue spends her time in Night City alternating between running from and being carried away by her past. She's actually a really interesting character, and I think I could do a longer video on just her, filling in some of the lore here and there. So, at one point, she was part of the same crew as Johnny, taking reckless merc missions from wherever she could get them, right? You'd think maybe that puts her on the same tier as Johnny. No. By the time we, the players, show up, V, she's made herself a cushy little throne at a mercenary bar she owns, the Afterlife, thanks to selling out to the very company she and Johnny bombed. Yeah, she basically sold out to Arasaka. It does mean, perhaps as a result of this, that Rogue is endlessly nostalgic for the time before Johnny died. You can hear all of that with the date at the drive-in theater.
Let's pretend it's 2015, huh? We just met, and I got no idea what a bastard you are.
But I like 2077, Rogue.
A far inferior version.
It also means that a lot of the time we see her, at least on the Johnny quests, Rogue tries very, very hard to erase the guilt she feels about working with Arasaka and literally Johnny's killer, Adam Smasher.
Got a name at the tip of your tongue, I know. Adam Smasher.
So yes, but way later. You were gone and I'd stopped dressing anymore. No room for sentimentality in the biz, Johnny. Smasher, me, we work for the same people. Does it stink like fresh shit? Yes. Did I have a choice? I did. Do I regret it? Very much so.
Granted, given she's lived a long time and has been in power for the most of it, Rogue has an extremely well-developed set of coping skills centered mostly on avoidance. She literally doesn't let people into her little niche back in the bar. Obvious. It makes her appear competent to an absurd degree. She's pretty much the best fixer in Night City, according to most people. That's a coping skill. That's a mask. It does basically mean that she may not be able to join any client on particularly challenging emotional journeys. That said, depending on the ending that you pick, there are versions of Rogue that are indeed ready and could be
turn back time, Johnny. Ever. But you can always start over.
So literally, depending on how your quest with Rogue plays out, I could put her as low as D, as high as A. So I'm thinking low B, high C. We'll see where I put her when I edit this video. And that does it for part 1 of ranking who in Cyberpunk could be a therapist. I think this is going to be fun. Look out for part 2 next time.